Hello friends, I am Shantanu and now we are going to cover international capital market. Let's see the term Euro issues. Indian companies are allowed to enter international capital market for raising the fund through Euro issues under three options. First, Indian companies can issue Global Depository Receipt, this is called GDR, then American Depository Receipt, ADR, and Foreign Currency Convertible Bond, that is called FCCBs. So normally we have seen that company can raise the capital from the Indian market through under the regulations of SEBI. But here we are talking about raising of funds by the company outside, from the outside India. First we will see the Global Depository Receipt. Now let's see the definition of the GDR. ये एग्जाम में भी आ सकता है, पहले आपको definition समझनी है, उसके बाद we will see the explanation. The Global Depository Receipt means an instrument, any instrument in the form of depository receipt or certificate which is created by overseas depository bank outside India and issued to non-resident investors against the issue of ordinary shares or FCCB of issuing Indian companies. Now we will try to see the explanation of this GDR. First point is that the securities are issued by the issuing company to an intermediary called Overseas Depository Bank. So for example, there is a company in India and this company is issuing the securities to the Overseas Depository Bank. So this Overseas Depository Bank means it is outside India. There is a depository bank and these securities are issued by the company to depository bank. Let's say 100 equity shares are issued by this company to Overseas Depository Bank. The equity shares are registered in the name of the depository who subsequently issue the GDR to foreign investor. So this depository will issue these shares in the form of GDR to non-residents, that is the investors outside India. The equity shares are in physical possession of another intermediary called Domestic Custodian Bank, who is an agent of the Overseas Depository Bank. The depository bank and the custodian shall enter into an agreement which is called the custodian agreement. So there is another body that is called Domestic Custodian Bank, and this Domestic Custodian Bank is the agent of Overseas Depository Bank, and the physical shares will be kept with the Domestic Custodian Bank. So here the issuing company issuing the shares in the name of Overseas Depository Bank, and these shares in the physical form will be kept with the Domestic Custodian Bank, who is the agent of Overseas Depository Bank. And on the basis of these physical shares which are in the name of Overseas Depository Bank, Overseas Depository Bank will issue the GDR to non-resident investors, which may comprise of, let's say, 1 GDR for 100 equity shares. So you can see that the underlying asset of this GDR is basically the equity shares of the issuing company. Now there is another term called American Depository Receipt. So the principle is almost same. Both are depository receipts which are issued outside India. The only difference in American Depository Receipt is that these are issued in country called America. So if you are issuing the depository receipt in America, then it will be treated as American Depository Receipt, and otherwise if you are issuing any depository receipt outside India other than America, it will be treated as GDR, that is Global Depository Receipt.